Hey everyone, Derek desu. Yoroshiku onegaishimasu. It's Derek here, and thank you for checking out my channel. I wanted to make a video on my top 5 anime of 2021. Now I know this is a drumming channel, but when I first started out, I kind of wanted to be a little bit more personable and make kind of these kinds of videos. And I figured, just try it, see what happens. If you don't like it, that's fine. Just let me know in the comments, and I'll shut up and just keep playing drums. That being said, I will be releasing a drum cover of each of the animes in the top 5 that I mentioned in today's video. So I just picked a song from each anime, and you'll see a cover of that very shortly. Before we get into the countdown, today's video is sponsored by no one, because I'm not sponsored. I just always wanted to say that. No, but disclaimer though, obviously these are my opinions based on my trash taste of anime, and I'm a big fan of slice of life and rom-coms, oddly enough, so this might not align with what you think, so just be mindful of that. Also, I haven't watched every single anime that came out in 2021. That's just impossible for me to do. There's probably some bangers that I haven't seen that are on my watch list or that I just don't know about. So definitely let me know your top 5s in the comments, and let me know some recommendations. And feel free to tear my list apart if you really don't like it. That's fine. It's a subjective thing, so it is what it is. Alright guys, let's get into my top 5 anime of 2021. Alright, coming in at number 5 is Shuroi Suna no Aquatope, the Aquatope of White Sand, or the Aquatope on White Sand. I actually don't know which one it is, but I felt like this was a super underrated anime of 2021. It's about an idol from Tokyo who leaves the industry and doesn't want to go home, so she finds herself in Okinawa, where she meets some locals who work at an aquarium. And so these are about the struggles of running an aquarium. It's really cool that they brought in some real world issues into the show without it being like a pushy agenda or anything like that, and I thought that was really good. But the reason why it takes the number 5 spot, which could have gone in so many different ways, because a lot of other shows could have just kind of crept into that last place spot there, it's because of the visuals. The visuals were just honestly breathtaking in so many regards. The environment they captured perfectly, the animals perfectly. Honestly, it's just gorgeous to watch, gorgeous to look at, and that was the thing that I probably looked forward to the most, was just seeing the beautiful animation that PA Works was able to produce. I already did the OP for the first half of that season, so I will be doing the second OP that came out for this series, so be on the lookout for that coming very shortly. Alright, coming in at number 4 is ReZero Season 2 Part 2. The first half of the season was pretty great. I think my favorite episode was when Subaru got to go back and kind of see his family again, and also my boy Otto got a little arc where he got to kind of prove himself as a good friend to Subaru, and that was really awesome. But the second season, in terms of character development, just took it to a whole other level. I won't spoil anything, obviously, but I thought it was really awesome to see some of the backstory on certain characters, as well as seeing the growth in a lot of other characters as well. But what made it number 4 for me on this list, which I think was really incredible, was that they didn't have a traditional opening and ending song. They often chose different endings to be more cohesive with what was happening in the story, and to fit the mood and that sort of thing. So the opening, I think, only played twice for the 12 episodes, which was really cool. It just made the story and the show kind of flow a lot better. You're not interrupted by anything, and the music really just kind of brought out the scenes more, which I thought was really awesome. So the song that I chose to cover actually is called Door, sung by Emilia herself, Ria Takahashi. And in this scene, it's got Subaru and Emilia kind of together, and he's comforting her for the trial, and it was a super heartfelt moment, and I think the song captures it perfectly, and that's part of the reason why I chose to cover it. Coming in at number 3 is Yoru Camp, or Laid Back Camp Season 2. Not a fan of camping in real life because of some back injuries that I have that make it, really difficult. It's just very uncomfortable. The cold fucks with me pretty hard. So I get to live vicariously through best girl Shima Rin and her camping adventures, whether it be solo or with her friends. But yeah, this show is literally the epitome of slice of life. Epitome? Epitome of slice of life. I need to Google that word for a second. And I think that's what makes it so enjoyable. There's not, a crazy, unbelievable story that happens or anything like that. It's just a really fun watch. One of the things I appreciate the most about this show is that they actually take real life places in Japan and animate them for the show and have the characters go there and that sort of thing. So if you want to get really deep into the, lore of this show and want to go visit the places that they visit, you could try to just find those places and go camping there, or get the best view of Fujisan or Mount Fuji, and really live the laid-back camp experience. I couldn't get enough of this show. I ended up watching Room Camp, or Heya Camp, I think it was called, right after, just because couldn't get enough of them. I definitely recommend it if you're a huge Slice of Life fan. This is a must. Oh fuck, I need to get something for this. This. I bought this because of this show. But the other half of the visuals is probably all the food. So they actually give camping advice and cooking advice. And there was one thing that looked so good and so interesting to me that I really wanted to try. All the food looks really good, let's be honest. But one of the spices that I think it was Nadeshko who actually brings it up was shichimi togarashi. I went out and bought it because I was so interested in what the hell they were talking about in the show. So I actually went, bought it, and it's fucking amazing. I recommend it to everybody, probably more than the anime itself. Go eat this. Eat this on rice, eggs, whatever, it doesn't matter. It tastes great. Anyways, the drum cover that I'm doing for Laid Back Camp is the OP for Season 2, so be on the lookout for that. Okay, coming in at number 2, this one kind of surprised me a little bit. It was Don't Toy With Me, Miss Nagatoro, or Ijiranaide Nagatoro-san. I must have binge watched this show 3 times since it came out. I just love my comedies and rom-coms, and this really just hit the spot this season. So I think what really made this enjoyable for me is how they animated Nagatoro, the different faces that they use, her wild expressions, and her noodle arms, for example. And I know the first episode can be kind of cringe. Trust me when I say that it really gets wholesome towards the end of it. Yeah, and I think compared to, other shows like Takagi-san, for example, which I personally felt was a little slow, this one was more energetic and more vibrant. So it was really an easy watch. The opening and ending for this show is really great, but I think I have to give credit to the original soundtrack. Honestly, they make Nagatoro's expressions pop, especially in the scenes where she's jealous and things like that, and that adds so much more to the dynamic of the show. And I think that's probably what really made this show kind of more enjoyable for me this year. Hearing the sounds and the music kind of pushing the emotions that Nagatoro was feeling, or that Senpai was feeling, that had a lot to why it made it this high on my list, along with the animations and everything else. I've already done a cover of the opening, so I'm going to do the drum cover of the ending. Honestly, I'm looking forward to Season 2 of this. So before I get into the number 1 anime of 2021 for me, I just wanted to give some honorable mentions to some animes that I watched, but just came up short on the top 5 list. The first is Odd Taxi. I thought that was a great mystery drama show. We also had Fruits Basket, the final, which I thought was a great conclusion to the series. Tokyo Revengers was also really good. I think that had one of the best OPs of the year. Crybaby was a great song. Scarlet Nexus also had great OPs, which I covered both. And kind of just to round everything out, Komi Can't Communicate and My Senpai is Annoying, 2 fun rom-coms that I quite enjoyed this year. Alright, number 1. How could it not be Attack on Titan? Shingeki no Kyojin. Honestly, this was the complete package of a show this year especially. It was incredible. I don't have words to describe it. Honestly, like, the story was absolutely amazing. It was amazing to see everything kind of flip upside down. It just goes to show how important perspective is in life. I think they got a new animation studio, and I think they did a pretty good job of that. It was really cool seeing the characters after some time had passed. I won't give any spoilers, and honestly, we're just a few weeks away from part 2 of the final season of Attack on Titan, and I'm looking forward to it very much. Hiroyuki Sawano, incredible composer, probably one of my favorite composers of all time, and he did an incredible job, again, on such an amazing soundtrack for this epic show. It's so good, I don't have a lot of words to describe it. You just kind of have to watch it and you'll understand. And also, you know, it's amazing when you vaguely bring up a description of the show to a friend who's never watched an anime in his life, and he goes in, he watches it, he loves it. John, that's you. I'm glad you watched it, buddy. I'll be honest, I wasn't a big fan of the opening when it first came out. It took some time, but eventually it really grew on me. So that's what I ended up doing a drum cover of. It's an absolute banger. I can say that with confidence now. And that concludes my list. Alright guys, this concludes my top 5 2021 animes. Thank you for sticking through till the end. If you agree with my list, definitely let me know. If you hated my list, definitely let me know. Give me some recommendations. Let me know your takes on this year's anime. Definitely like and subscribe, all that stuff. But I think this is something I might do annually because it's a lot of fun for me. It's to review kind of the anime at the end of the year and then force myself to learn some drum covers. So yeah, be on the lookout for those drum covers in the next few days. And take care, Happy New Year, all that fun stuff.